Hey everyone, it's Keri TV, and we're going back through Webster's Real Estate Dictionary today to define some more real estate terms. Today's terms are specific to buyers. Last time we did one, we were focusing on sellers, but so many of the words are used on both sides of the transactions. But these words today are both buyer and seller, but specified more so for the buyers. So first one is appraisal. So appraisal is what a bank does to determine the property's value to give them, the buyer, a loan. As is, this is important. Every real estate contract has a clause in there that means the seller is selling the property as is. Does the buyer have a right to ask for repairs? Yes, but all properties are sold with an as is clause. Bomb. Back on the market. I did this last time as well. That means the property was either on hold or in escrow and is now back on the market. A bomb does not mean that it was necessarily in escrow. It could have just been on hold or withdrawn for a little while for whatever reason. So don't be too worried about BOMs, but that's a common word we use. BOM, DOM, days on market. Backup offer. What's a backup offer? Backup offer means somebody else has an offer on the property that is accepted, but it's subject to the current buyer or the current escrow canceling. Now, the reason you would want to be backup buyer is because if that escrow cancels, it goes straight to you and you are then under contract versus going back out to the market, the MLS, multiple listing service, which is another definition. The multiple listing service is where we put all of the properties for sale and that are sold, so that all realtors who pay a fee and are part of the California Association of Realtors can access. This also is syndicated out to Zillow, Redfin, but everything comes from the MLS, the main hub. Bidding war, of course, when more than one offer is on a property, it's technically called a bidding war. Broker's tour. So you may hear broker caravan, broker tour, broker preview. This is an open house that's specified for agents to go see the property. The public is allowed to go as well, but it's just called a broker's tour. So often people ask me, can I go if it's a broker's tour? Yes, you can. Closing. What is closing? Closing is when you buy the property or sell the property. When the deed is signed, the money is transferred, then the property is closed. So they call it a closing, closed. It's really not called many other things besides that. Transfer of title, closing. Now with the closing, you have a closing statement. On the closing statement, it'll go through all the costs involved of buying or selling. So it'll go through closing costs such as your escrow fees, lender fees, title fees, insurance, proration, taxes, etc. Your closing costs are just that. They are, again, the same exact costs I just laid out. It's considered a closing cost. Now through escrow, you only need to pay your inspection fee or your appraisal fee. All the closing costs are taken at the close of escrow. Credit score. This is a number ranging from 300 to 850 and is based on your credit history. This is what banks use to determine if you are credit worthy and if they want to give you a loan. Down payment. What's a down payment? Down payment is what you put down towards your loan. Now this can range from typically 3 to 20%. You can do 3%, 5%, 10%, 20%. Again, consult with your mortgage lender, but that's what the down payment is. That is not given until a few days before you close escrow. Remember what closing is. Mortgage rate. This is the interest rate you pay on the loan. So right now, interest rates are really low, so it's a good time to buy. Pre-approval letter. This means that you've spoken with a lender and they have pre-approved you for a loan. Most offers are all written with a pre-approval letter. Comparable. Comp. You hear this all the time. Run comps. What's the comp? That's a comp. Comp means comparable property, meaning it's similar features, size, shape, condition, location, view, and you use it as superior or inferior to the property to judge the value. Contingency. Refer to another episode where I talk about contingencies. These are certain requirements and expectations for the buyers and the sellers throughout the transaction. How exciting is this video? It's pretty thrilling, right? Buckle up. What else? Counteroffer. What's a counteroffer? So when you write an offer on a property, the seller can either accept, reject, or counter. Counter means they have accepted all your conditions except for what is on the counteroffer. Then you can decide if you're going to accept that or counter that back. Earnest money. What is earnest money? So when you go into escrow, which is a trusted neutral third party who acts on behalf of both parties, you put in your earnest deposit money, which is also called your deposit, and that's usually 3% of the purchase price. the MLS we went through. Pending, this is what I get a lot too, is what does pending mean? What does under contract mean? Why did the property disappear? So for property is under contract, meaning the buyer's written an offer, the seller is accepted. That means it has been in escrow, under contract, again, lingo. Usually when the contingencies are released, the property is then changed to pending, meaning it's pending, and it's just waiting to close. Walkthrough. Walkthrough is your final stage. It's when you walk through to make sure that the house is still in the same condition as when you offered on it. Maybe there were repairs done, so you take a look at that. But your walkthrough is the final time where you're saying, yep, I love it. You wire your money, then you go to closing, and escrow closes the property, and then you become the new owner, which I don't think I need to explain what an owner is. So some quick tips and lingos, and I think that's really helpful for anybody out there listening to the way us realtors babble on and use all these terms. So cheers guys, happy Tuesday, and we'll see you next week.